What happens when a U.S. Senator asks the FBI Director a simple yes or no question and gets 9 minutes of evasion instead? Senator Sheldon Whitehouse wanted to know, is the FBI asking agents who they voted for? It's a straightforward question with serious constitutional implications. FBI Director Kash Patel's response on September 17, 2025 never included the words yes or no, and that might tell you everything you need to know. September 17, 2025, 4:18 p.m. Senate Judiciary Committee hearing room. By late afternoon, the hearing had already been grueling. FBI Director Kash Patel had spent hours defending his personnel decisions, his handling of investigations, his social media presence. But when Senator Sheldon Whitehouse from Rhode Island took his turn to question, the room's energy shifted once again. Whitehouse wasn't a bomb thrower. He didn't shout or grandstand. A former U.S. attorney and Rhode Island Attorney General, he built his reputation on meticulous preparation and prosecutorial precision. Today, he had come with specific allegations from federal lawsuits, investigative reporting, and documented personnel actions, and he was about to ask questions that would make Patel deeply uncomfortable. Director Patel, Whitehouse began, adjusting his glasses and looking down at several documents spread before him. I want to ask you about allegations that have emerged regarding how FBI agents are being evaluated and polygraphed. Patel's expression remained neutral, but his posture stiffened slightly. Polygraph questions were always sensitive territory. Of course, Senator, the FBI uses polygraph examinations as part of our security protocols. I'm not asking about standard polygraph protocols, Director. Whitehouse's interruption was smooth but firm. I'm asking about specific questions that agents are reportedly being asked. Specifically, I'm asking about allegations that FBI agents are being questioned about who they voted for. The room went quiet. This wasn't about budget allocations or operational priorities anymore. This was about something fundamental, whether the FBI was testing its agents' political loyalty. Patel's response came carefully. Senator, I'm not aware of any polygraph questions asking agents about their voting records. Whitehouse looked up from his documents, his expression suggesting he'd expected exactly that answer. You're not aware of it. That's different from saying it's not happening, isn't it, Director? Whitehouse pulled out the first document, a federal lawsuit filed by terminated FBI officials. Director, I'm looking at a lawsuit filed by former FBI executives who allege, under penalty of perjury, that they were subjected to polygraph examinations that included questions about their political views and whether they had made negative comments about you personally. Are you familiar with this lawsuit? Patel shifted slightly in his seat. Senator, I'm aware that disgruntled former employees have filed litigation making various allegations. Director, these aren't just various allegations. These are specific claims about specific questions asked during polygraph examinations. Let me read you a direct quote from the complaint. Whitehouse read from the document. During polygraph examination conducted in June 2025, I was asked whether I had voted for Donald Trump in 2024, whether I supported President Trump's policies, and whether I had made any negative statements about Director Patel. Those are sworn allegations, Director. Are they true or false? Patel's pause was noticeable. Senator, I cannot discuss the specific content of polygraph examinations, as those are security-sensitive protocols. Director, I'm not asking you to reveal classified information. I'm asking whether FBI polygraph exams are asking agents about their political beliefs and their personal opinions of you. That's a yes or no question. The directness of the question left little room for evasion, but Patel tried anyway. Senator, polygraph protocols are used to assess honesty and reliability for security clearances. If there are allegations that protocols were misused, those allegations would be investigated. That's not what I asked. Whitehouse's tone remained calm but showed growing frustration. I asked a simple question. Are FBI agents being asked who they voted for? Yes or no? Patel took a breath before responding. Senator, I have no knowledge of agents being asked about their voting records as part of standard polygraph protocols. Whitehouse leaned back, making a note. No knowledge.
Again, Director, that's interesting phrasing. It could mean it's not happening, or it could mean you're choosing not to know about it.
Whitehouse pulled out another document. This one appeared to be printouts of news articles. Director, the New York Times reported in August that multiple current and former FBI officials described a pattern of politically motivated questioning during security screenings. The Washington Post ran similar reporting. Are all of these journalists and their sources lying? Patel's response showed his first signs of frustration. Senator, I can't speak to anonymous sources cited in media reports. What I can tell you is that the FBI conducts security protocols consistently and appropriately. But you can't tell me that agents aren't being asked about their political views? Senator, I reject the characterization that the FBI is conducting political loyalty tests. Director, I didn't ask about your characterization. I asked about specific questions. Let me be even more direct. Whitehouse leaned forward. FBI agents pledge their loyalty to the Constitution of the United States, not to you personally. Do you agree with that principle? It was a trap, and everyone in the room recognized it. If Patel disagreed, he'd be admitting he expected personal loyalty. If he agreed, Whitehouse would press him on why agents were being asked about their opinions of him. Patel chose his words very carefully. Senator, of course FBI agents serve the Constitution. Every agent takes an oath to defend the Constitution, and I expect every agent to honor that oath. Then why, Whitehouse continued without pause, are polygraph exams reportedly asking agents whether they've made negative comments about you? Since when is criticizing the FBI director incompatible with serving the Constitution? Patel's jaw tightened visibly. Senator, if there are leak investigations involving agents who had access to sensitive information, polygraph questions about unauthorized disclosures are appropriate. That's not what I'm describing, Director. Whitehouse pulled out yet another document. According to the lawsuit I referenced, agents are being asked whether they've said anything negative about you, not whether they've leaked classified information, but whether they've criticized you. That's political loyalty testing, not security screening. Whitehouse shifted to another line of evidence, and his tone became even more prosecutorial. Director Patel, you published a book in 2023 called Government Gangsters. In that book, you listed approximately 60 individuals by name as part of what critics have called your enemies list. Do you recall that list? Patel's response was defensive. Senator, that book identified individuals involved in what I believe were politically motivated investigations. I'm not asking about your justification, Director. I'm asking if you recall publishing a list of names. Yes or no? Yes, Senator. Thank you. Whitehouse made a show of looking at his notes. Now, according to analysis conducted by my staff, of those 60 individuals you named in your book, at least 20 have faced adverse personnel actions since you became FBI director, terminations, forced retirements, reassignments, or are currently under investigation. Does that number sound accurate to you? Patel's expression showed he hadn't expected this specific calculation. Senator, personnel decisions are made based on performance evaluations and organizational needs, not based on any list. Director, 1/3 of the people you publicly named in a book as your political enemies have faced negative employment actions within 7 months of you taking office. You're telling me that's coincidence? Senator, correlation is not causation. The individuals on that list were there because of their involvement in previous investigations, and if their performance as FBI employees was subsequently found lacking. Director, let me stop you there. Whitehouse held up his hand. Many of the people on your list are highly decorated career agents with decades of exemplary service. The idea that suddenly, within months of you becoming director, all of them simultaneously had performance problems strains credulity. He paused for effect. Unless, of course, the performance problem was that they investigated Donald Trump, or that they expressed concerns about your leadership, or that they refused to pledge personal loyalty to you. Patel leaned forward, his voice rising slightly. Senator, that is a completely false characterization.
Then explain the pattern, Director. Explain why 20 people you publicly identified as adversaries have faced employment consequences under your leadership. Give me an alternative explanation that doesn't involve political retaliation. Déjame mostrarte algo desde un ángulo completamente diferente. ¿Y si la lujuria no es un problema en absoluto? ¿Y si es simplemente energía? Neutral, natural, impersonal, expresándose a través de ti. Mira el universo. Es fundamentalmente creativo, ¿verdad? Las estrellas explotan en existencia. Las galaxias giran en espiral. Las plantas atraviesan el concreto. Los pájaros construyen nidos. Las arañas tejen telarañas. La vida se reproduce a sí misma sin cesar, adoptando nuevas formas, nuevos patrones, nuevas expresiones. Esta fuerza creativa, como quieras llamarla, se expresa a través de la polaridad, positivo y negativo, expansión y contracción, masculino y femenino, luz y oscuridad. Toda la danza de la existencia surge de la interacción de opuestos. Sin polaridad no hay movimiento, no hay creación, no hay universo. En las tradiciones antiguas esto se entendía profundamente. El poder creativo del cosmos se representaba como la unión de opuestos, no como enemigos encerrados en batalla, sino como amantes abrazados. La sexualidad, entonces, no está separada de la espiritualidad. Es una de las formas primarias en que la inteligencia creativa de la existencia se expresa a sí misma. Es como lo infinito juega a ser finito. Es como la conciencia se explora a sí misma a través de la forma. Cuando sientes deseo, estás sintiendo la misma fuerza que hace que las flores se vuelvan hacia el sol, la misma fuerza que impulsa al salmón río arriba, la misma fuerza que explota en cada supernova y susurra en cada semilla. El problema no es el deseo en sí, el problema es la identificación con él. Déjame explicar lo que quiero decir. Cuando piensas, yo soy alguien que desea a esta persona, crea sufrimiento. Has hecho el deseo personal. Has convertido una energía natural en mi deseo, mi lujuria, mi problema. Se enreda con tu sentido de identidad, con tu historia sobre quién eres y quién deberías ser. Esto es lo que las tradiciones espirituales quieren decir con no apego. No que no sientas cosas, sino que no confundas el sentimiento con quién eres. Cuando observas un fuego ardiendo, no dices yo soy el fuego, dices hay fuego. Lo observas sin convertirte en él. De la misma manera, cuando surge el deseo, no tienes que decir soy lujurioso. Simplemente puedes notar, hay deseo, hay calor, hay energía moviéndose a través de este sistema. Y algo milagroso sucede en ese simple cambio. El deseo ya no te controla. Está ahí, sí, lo sientes, pero no estás aprisionado por él. No estás a su merced. Te conviertes en el espacio en el que aparece el deseo, no en el deseo mismo. Y desde ese espacio puedes responder conscientemente en lugar de reaccionar automáticamente. Puedes sentir la atracción sin ser arrastrado. Puedes reconocer la energía sin ser arrastrado por ella.
Whitehouse's questioning didn't produce a viral moment of shouting or confrontation, but it accomplished something potentially more damaging. It systematically laid out evidence that the FBI director's denials weren't credible. Legal analysts reviewing the hearing noted that Patel never directly denied the voting question. He only said he had no knowledge of it, a classic non-denial denial. The lawsuits Whitehouse cited continued to proceed through federal court, with more former FBI officials filing similar complaints about political loyalty testing. And within the FBI itself, agents who watched the hearing came away with a chilling message. If you're not politically aligned with the director, your career might be at risk. Republican Senator Thom Tillis, speaking to reporters after the hearing, offered a telling comment. I think Kash needs to be more direct in his answers. When you're evasive, people assume you're hiding something. Even allies were recognizing that Patel's credibility problem was becoming untenable.
The fundamental question Whitehouse raised remained unanswered. Is the FBI testing agents for political loyalty? Patel said no, but he couldn't explain the pattern of firings, couldn't deny the polygraph allegations directly, and couldn't account for why 1/3 of his published enemies had faced employment consequences. Sometimes the most damaging testimony isn't what someone admits, it's what they refuse to deny clearly.